A short glass bottle used for beer is generally called a stubby, or originally a steiny for you fact heads out there. Shorter and flatter than standard bottles, stubbies come with a wide range of advantages, including but not limited to tighter packing for easy transport, ease of handling, less breakage, lighter in weight, less storage space, and a lower center of gravity. So you're not knocking it over when you're about 10 stubbies deep at the bar. These fat little guys got their start in the 1930s when they were introduced by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company. Heard of it? But in the many years since the 1930s, stubbies have generally fallen out of favor in the U.S., with only a few brands still using them. And those brands include Switchback Brewing Company in Burlington, Vermont. Red Stripe, hooray for beer.
Boy.
Red Stripe, the beer in the short, stubby, ugly bottle. If ugly people stand next to a Red Stripe, they look beautiful. You, sir.
Yeah?
Would you say that you're ugly?
Well, I wouldn't say.
You are very ugly. Here, hold this Red Stripe.
Okay.
Look, you are beautiful. Red Stripe, it's beer. Hooray, beer.
Hooray, beer!
Says the beautiful man.
Our overlords at Coors Brewing Company, and our cold can of the hour. That's right, folks. This week, the boys are getting stubby with Session Lager from the Full Sail Brewing Company. Stubby's hurt the ass.
Hey. My name's Joey Glock, and I'm here to say, gonna drink
Remember?
a session beer on a very fine day.
Hey, remember when we talked about how our listeners didn't like our last two episodes? I think it's because this kind of stuff.
Because we started
when we
with
get a little
rapping.
wacky.
We do things a little differently here.
A bit twisted, if you will. I wish these were twist-offs, though.
It's hard to grab a
It
stubby
is.
and get it
The
flipped
stubby's
off.
weird. Oh, by the way, the inside of these bottle caps have rock, paper, scissors on them. Shall we play? We're
Rock, paper.
Don't throw it at me.
Scissors.
Don't. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Shoot.
Paper.
I'm scissors.
Oh, kick
Scissors
my
cuts
ass.
paper, bitch.
Kick my ass and call me sus. Oh, God, that's bad. Tie me up. Sorry about that.
Tie one on and call me Susan. We're drinking Sessions.
Full Sail Brewing. It's from Hood River. Drink a lot of these. It's bad for my liver. Cheers.
Hey, cheers. Cheers, Joe. Yeah, I decided to bring in some session lagers for us today. I had these last week at a party, a house party.
Oh, hey. Mr. Hollywood over here.
Hey, I get a little young and wild and free.
Where was my invite?
Lost in the email.
Great.
Speaking of email. Yeah, Session Lager, I picked these up. It's a good, just like drinking beer. It comes in these little stubby bottles.
Uh-huh.
So you're standing around at the party, taking a little sip-sap.
We'll post pictures of the stubby bottles
We
on
will.
Instagram.
And don't let me forget about the packaging for this beer. I bought this in a 12-pack. Came in like a nice, thick cardboard box. And
Thick
every
with two
panel,
C's?
thick, yes, thank you, thick and juicy. Every panel of the box, like every side of it, had different stuff on it, like new copy. It was pretty interesting. They
New
really
copy.
went in on it, all in on it. I took pictures. We can post those as well.
We'll post everything for the listeners. What's your first impression?
I like it. It's light.
Mm-hmm. It's crisp. It's very light. It's like watery light. This is kind of like Miller 64 light. There's almost no flavor.
I agree, but it's 5.1% alcohol, which
Now,
is
how is
nearly
that magic
double.
accomplished?
I don't know. It's nearly double like a Miller 64.
Yeah, what the fuck? It really does taste like water for 5% alcohol.
Mm-hmm. By the way, do
I'm
we
a little
cheers?
pissed up.
I want to
Yeah,
do
we
it again with
cheers
the
to
glass
stubby.
bottles.
Yeah. It does feel nice drinking out of these. The only other stubby I think I've ever drank out of was the Red Hook from Jamaica. No, not Red Hook. What was I thinking of? Red Stripe. Red Stripe from Jamaica.
Red Stripe is hooray beer, right?
Hooray beer.
Hooray, beer!
I think,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bum de
Red
clock.
Stripe. Oh boy, we'll edit that out. The IBU, but perhaps why the flavor's so low. The IBU is 18 on this. Very low.
Boy. But I thought that there was some correlation, and this shows my knowledge of beer. I thought there was a correlation between IBU and alcohol content. Basically, if you have something that low, 18, that's a watery,
Right.
and 5%
This is defying
alcohol.
all science and chemistry.
Well, I got to say,
Chemistry is the science of transformation.
I got to say the
God, Joe.
put the phones away.
away.
Before the podcast starts. Now I'm going to stare at Twitter for 15 minutes and see
God damn it,
which one of
Joey.
my uncles on Facebook supports the mass shootings.
You're going to be on
something.
Twitter to see which uncle supports
Yeah.
on Facebook the mass shootings.
Yeah, you can't escape. You
Do
get
you
in,
ever
you
get sick
don't
of it,
get
Joe?
out.
Do you ever get sick of it? You couldn't turn your phone off for 2 fucking seconds coming in
I'm
to
doing
our
my
hallowed
best.
ground of cold cans recording.
I'm doing my best to be off the phone guy from here on out. I
A
don't.
new leaf on life.
I'm a new leaf, a new lease on life.
You're turning over a new lease.
No, yeah, I'm trying to put the phone away. It fucking, you need a, so there's Seattle, we have plenty of people here who are like, they'll basically devolve back to flip phone people. Like, oh, I just have a dumb phone.
yeah,
I don't even want the smartphone.
Sure.
That's bullshit. In 2017, you need Uber and
Why
you need
is that
Google
bullshit?
Maps. Because there are some utility that you need Google Maps to drive around. And like, you do Uber.
Or do we depend on that? Do we become dependent?
Oh, that's a
But
good
sorry, I
point.
don't want to shit on your point. Keep
I was
going.
just saying, let's say there's like 5 apps that you actually need to like, or
Function,
if you don't
just-
need, they're like very useful. Makes
Yeah.
your life a lot easier. But then there's like 30 apps that you just fucking stare at for 5 hours
Yeah.
and don't realize where the time went.
and they just
that's-
sap you.
Yeah. So
Sap you dry.
I get. Oh, hey, get me Randy. I get.
make you Randy, baby?
Oh, gross. I put my phone away. I put it right on the charger
Good.
when I come home. I don't want to
Gold
look at
chargers.
it anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart. We were talking about Facebook, and I deactivated Facebook because I'm tired of it.
That's a bold move to deactivate Facebook altogether.
I can still use Messenger, so that's okay.
I like that they did that. You think they would just say,
I think
if
they
you deactivate
realize-
your shit, you can't use
I
our
think
stuff.
they realize how debilitating their product is, but they know people like need Messenger to communicate with friends and stuff. That's really the only reason I need Facebook is to coordinate with friends. You know, some people don't like to text; they only Facebook message. But the rest of it was just I was tired of it. There was like 3% of the stuff I was actually seeing is stuff that I was tuning in for,
Right.
and so it had me hooked because of that. I wanted to see pictures of my new nephew or to see what my extended family members are doing.
Right.
Because, you know, you don't get those updates every single day.
Sure.
And then you just get a stream of shit that comes with it.
Yes.
Like you're washing away diarrhea from the pictures of your baby nephew
Yeah.
so you can get a glimpse of it.
Number 1 most wanted Colin Kaepernick.
Oh
You have
my
to read
God.
that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the takes on both sides, and then people get into the comments. And I
On,
always
on many sides.
there are many sides. I find myself clicking into the comments of some of these things because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what's my high school?
It's a reality
buddy?
show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then I just feel dirty at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I logged off.
You gotta
I am
log
logged
off.
off.
I agree with you. Like, the 3%. Like, for me, I talk to like, I guess my family's the only thing on Facebook that I'm interested in looking at. Other than that, if you go to like you climb a mountain, you would have told me. There's like 8 of my friends that I care about every day, and then I have 700,000 Facebook friends. Most of them I don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're logging off. We're the log off boys.
The log off
Cans.
boys, and we're here to say we're not gonna be logged on. We're just gonna get drunk every day.
We know
That-
that people love the rap. So in that refrain specifically,
Yeah.
we're the this and we're here to say.
Very original.
Uh-huh.
But I want to recapture the ability to like keep in touch with someone where it's not just in that like I'm pissing this out into the general atmosphere,
The void.
and then you
Yeah.
can take some of it in, and then we're keeping in touch. Like I want to be in a more like intimate way, just like if texting is yes.
Smooching?
Or smooching. No, like
I know
because
what
there's
you
still
mean.
people that I'm not, they're not in my immediate vicinity that I want to keep in touch with.
Yeah.
Friends back home, friends from college, whatever it may be.
But we have supercomputers in our pocket. You can just text them.
That's what I'm saying. I want to get
that's
back
what you're saying.
to that. It's tougher
Right.
to do,
Back to already an extremely convenient and easy thing like texting. You don't even have to call them.
Right.
And that's already, we're going back to that versus like Facebook. I'm with you, dude. let's roll back. If any Cold Cans listeners out there feel the same way and you want to fucking roll back with us. Prove to us somehow that you rolled back.
Hashtag roll back.
Yeah,
yes, please.
Roll back by going on a social media platform and contacting us.
Hey, Walmart was right about one thing. It's about rolling back.
Hey.
They roll back the prices. I roll back my dependency on social media.
I'm Joey Glock, and I'm rolling back, and that's a fact. I can't do it. I can't do improv.
I agree.
It's hard.
I agree. All right, let's move on. We don't need to. Oh yeah, how's that beer? Check in.
It's so good. It is good. The stubby.
Our listeners got an intimate.
The stubby
listening on.
I'm choking down the stubby.
Bedroom sounds. Choking down the stubby.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. How about you? Halfway through?
About halfway through this 11-ounce. That's the one downside, I guess. 11-ounce bottle. You're not getting the full 12 ounces.
That's our back-to-back. Hoegaarden was 11.2
2
ounces. Yeah.
Wow. What if we keep going down? Wow.
wow. But Session Lager. Should we discuss the label?
Yeah. Hey, it's that time of the show. We're talking labels.
My name's Joey Glock, and I'm here to say I'm going to look at the label on this very fine day.
Yeah.
It's a Session Lager, and that's the facts. And then we're going to
keep the show going.
All right, so let's look at the labels. Brewed and bottled by Full Sail Brewing Company. There's no copy
Hood
on
River,
this.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Hey, cost savings all around the board. They saved it all for the packaging.
Yeah, they put their copy online, and that's it. By the way, there was
Were
the
they
Hood
online?
River and liver wrap. I promise you, I didn't rehearse that or anything like that. That one I was happy about. It's the only one so far in this show.
You should be proud of that
thank
one,
you.
Joe. That
Thank
one
you.
was very good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's look at some of their packaging. We'll post these pictures too.
Okay.
But they have like speech bubbles coming off of one of the stubbies. It says, "Mom was an import, Dad was a 40."
Okay. Oh, and then they made this little stubby. I got it. It took me a long time.
Yeah, the stubby's the baby.
Except Mom being an import. Build the wall.
Couldn't have said it better myself if I had a microphone in front of my face every second of the day. And Twitter in my pocket. Okay. Then there's why have a beer when you could have a session?
Well, that one doesn't even make any sense.
Session is
I'm
a
out on
beer.
that one.
It says a beer that goes to 11. Spinal Tap reference.
And also 11-ounce bottle. Got it.
Mm-hmm. What else? Good things come in small packages.
Ooh.
After your session, have a cold session.
How has there not been one sexually suggestive one? The bottle's called a stubby, for God's sakes.
Okay, this is getting into it. It's about body shaming, but it's as sexual as we're going to
great.
get on
I
this
love
show.
It. I always love to laugh.
It's another speech bubble coming off the bottle, rather. Does this bottle make my neck look fat? Yeah. Somewhere on here, they talk about what a session is.
Oh, okay. Sessionability.
Here we go. Session is a classic. No, that's not it. Oh, no, yeah, that is it. Session. This mic is falling down on me, Joe.
Every week, this is a listener favorite. Nick gets confused reading a segment he had planned.
Session is a classic premium American lager, pale in color, but with plenty of flavor, just like my ex-wife. It goes down clean and refreshing.
Walking here.
Just the kind of beer you want. Après surf session, après snowboard session. Is that how you say it?
Après?
Like the French, like after, A-P-R-E-S?
Sure.
I assume. I do not know. Après jam session, après, well, you get the idea, right? You motherfucker.
Wow,
Have a
that's
good
bold
session.
copy.
Yeah. Keep session weird, it also says, playing off of Keep Portland Weird.
Because this is Hood River, Oregon, near Portland.
Near
the
Portland.
Pacific
And they also
Northwest
have
here.
a brew pub or brew house in Portland, I've read.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to Portland this weekend. Maybe I'll check it out and do some live reports from the field.
Gnarly. Get something on Insta.
Oh, I'll be on Insta. Well, Snapchat. Check the Snapchat at Cold Sword at Cold Cans Pod.
Well,
Hey, I'm not done.
okay.
Like I said, every side of that box had a little message for us.
Uh-huh.
Short on neck, long on flavor. You bet.
I wouldn't say this is long on flavor. But
Hey,
again, this 18 IBU, there's no flavor. Short on neck, long on alcohol, maybe.
Hey.
Long on booze.
All right, here we go. The final piece of the puzzle. There's a number of check boxes next to words, and only one of them has a check. Micro, no check. Macro, no check. Import, no check. None of the above. Yes, please.
They're not
It's
micro
none of those.
nor macro.
Nor
They're
import.
domestic.
But
They
Mama
just
was an
didn't put-
import.
They just yeah, that's true. So they're mixed. It's mixing.
Mixed race. Mudblood, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I was
concludes
just at Harry
this-
Potter World in Orlando.
Hey, talk about Harry Potter World.
No, I don't. I have
In Orlando,
nothing to say
Florida.
about it. It was a cool place. Going back to this brewery, the Full Sail crew. You said they're based out of Portland. They like to keep it weird. Let's
Hood
just
River.
say Full Sail does things a little bit different, a little bit twisted.
Like Jared Leto, star of...
Stoked to brew, brewed to stoke is what their headline is. The
Okay.
reason we started Full Sail in the first place was to build a company that was completely different from the ones where we'd previously worked. A little bit twisted. Rest of the copy. Here, this is what I wanted to do. Okay, I got to get into a voice. Look down. Candy-colored sails skim the Columbia like swarms of graffitied dragonflies. Look out. Snow-topped volcanic peaks descend into wildflower meadows, merge into evergreen forests, then abruptly stopped at vertical basalt cliffs punctuated by pencil-thin waterfalls. Look up. Dry blue skies deliver the scent of ponderosas baking in the summer sun. That's the rest of the copy.
With no connection to the beer itself.
Nope.
Merely a
Candy-colored
poem
sails.
about the Columbia
It's their
River
poem
Gorge.
and some action voices.
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Nature,
it's
baby.
really something.
Heard of it?
Nature, which is going away thanks to global warming.
Hey, we're nurturing a new earth. Away with nature. I've always been a nature man. What are you talking about?
I was thinking about nature. We're thinking about global warming. I was just talking about this with somebody the other day. Isn't it weird?
You talk with other people besides me on this podcast?
Isn't it, I told you I was in Orlando. I was at a work conference. We had the most enlightening conversations. Isn't it weird that there's a stance? Like, I get why politicians are saying global warming is fake, right? Because if they're big oil is a lobbyist with them, they make some money and stuff. But why would the average Joe? What's the incentive to believe that global warming is fake? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it like flat Earth, believing in flat Earth. I get the incentive because that's like a cool concept. Like, what if the Earth is flat? Ha! And then
Fall
there's
off the edge.
Yeah, and then there's oh, what if we didn't go to the moon? Like, those things are interesting, almost like sci-fi plots. And then there's actual nuanced conversation, whatever, like abortion and having a dialogue around that. But global warming, what incentive do you have to say it's not real? Like, why would you get happy about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no benefit to taking the side of it doesn't exist.
Right, other than pissing off libs.
That's it. So it's
No,
purely
it's the whole thing.
confrontational.
It's like Trump trying to undo everything Obama ever accomplished in office. It's
That's
that exact
purely
same
confrontational.
thing. Oh yeah.
But it's so weird that you'd latch on to that because there's no again.
It's
It's
all
not a cool
identity
sci-fi
politics,
thing.
baby.
It's so weird.
It's all about I'm this, so I believe this because
okay. So that's entirely what it is. But
think
even though
so.
this particular one is clearly a bunch of people trying to profit off of the idea that it's a myth, it's weird that the myth of it being a myth came out. You know what I mean? Science comes out all of the time and they're like, spiders are extinct. And then we all go, okay, and we believe scientists. And there's one thing that directly profits oil companies. We're like, oh yeah, they're right. It's a myth. We don't believe scientists in this regard.
Yeah.
There's no incentive for the average Joe to not believe it.
Yeah, I think getting back to our Facebook discussion, those people have had a platform because of that and are much more vocal than they are actually in numbers.
But again,
not
so Bill
that many
O'Reilly, you're
people
talking
believe.
and stuff like that, like the people who profit off of saying it's a myth.
Them and anyone who will talk about it being a myth, their numbers are not that great compared to the people who think that it's true.
Right, but I'm talking about like your uncle, you know? Why would
Right.
the average everyday Joe, what incentive do they have to say it's a myth? There's no, if you say the moon
Community,
landing,
man.
I guess that's it. If you say the moon landing didn't happen, it's because that's a fun, conspiracy. And if you want to if you have an
It goes
opinion
much
on,
deeper than the moon. Sorry, I'm not good at that. Keep going.
I just don't understand it. We derailed all of session, but it's such a strange stance to take.
Yeah, I think it is all about the identity politics thing. Like, they are so strong about this, so I have to be against it because I'm against them in other ways.
Yeah, it's all or nothing. We can't be.
There's no nuance.
Yeah, there's no nuance. The world works in a black and white way, and there's no gray area in between.
And I will say this too. I think it's a pushback against like, the elites or whatever. Like these scientists, these college-learned kids are telling us that we're ruining the earth.
Right.
Like, what do they know?
So
I think that's part of it.
So us and big oil of the little guys, we like to rebel against that.
I do think that's part of
elites-
it, but that plays into the politics thing. Like,
I know
that's
it's the
whole
same. Like it's the Trump
basis.
thing. Like saying like we're voting for him because we're pushing back against the elites.
Yeah.
So we're voting for Donald Trump,
Right.
who has a gold apartment and everything is plated in gold.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, we've really
I don't
gone
know.
into politics.
We did, yeah.
for a non-political
a little
show.
much, yeah. Not that type of show.
How's
There's
the
nothing
rest
wrong
of-
with being like pushing back against,
no
the mainstream either.
Of course.
We're not saying that. Like if you think you're like being disenfranchised by this like larger group that's in control,
Absolutely.
absolutely push back.
Absolutely.
It's a bummer that there's not a better way to do that. That's apparent.
There is. It's just so easy to do it by taking another mainstream
So I got a booger
approach.
on my nose, Joe?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Cave's clear. It's just you take another mainstream approach, though. Like, our pushback means we support this fucking multimillionaire reality TV star. Or our pushback against global warming means we side with Exxon. Like,
Yeah.
clearly someone's trying to profit off of you pushing back against the harmful mainstream politics that you're upset and frustrated about. It's so strange that if you're willing to push back to those things in the first place, that you're not also pushing back against the people trying to profit off of you doing it. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I do get like pushing back.
Well, it's just like watching the NFL. Like the oil companies become like the underdog at a certain point when all these like Al Gore documentaries and like liberal politicians and also conservative politicians like, who believe in
just any rational
trust.
person.
Yeah, any rational person are saying like you're bad, like you're doing bad for us
because the planet there's 8 hurricanes in the Gulf of Mexico right now.
Yeah, I mean, it even goes back to like our car-centric country that relies on oil. Like you're telling me oil's going to cost more per gallon for my diesel F-350? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, I guess. So I guess that's it. Like, but if that's why you're taking the stance, then you know that like if you're taking the stance that global warming is a myth because you want your F-350 to continue to go out on the road, that means you know that what you're saying is not true, that it's not a myth, but you do just want to keep reaping the benefits until you die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not actually saying I believe it's a myth. You're saying, yeah, I know it's real, and I don't care. I have no empathy or no ability to realize other generations will exist after me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Do people who like deny climate change and its impact on the earth, like, do they not care about like eternity, or do they think eternity is guaranteed in some way?
Well, certainly to them, it's guaranteed for them.
I don't know what you're implying, Joe, but I think there's probably some differing opinions on the matter. That's too bit afield, but I think it's
everybody is living in their own bubble. What's good for me? I got to go and get me and mine.
Right.
And
I'm gonna worry about me, and I'm gonna get mine.
Yes,
as Julius Campbell once said in a hit TV. Not TV show, but movie, Remember the Titans.
Yes. And
now airing on TNT.
And so if you ask anyone to emphasize and like help someone else, people will fucking refuse. It's just thoughts and prayers, and they end there. Thoughts and prayers. I bet the people who say thoughts and prayers to disasters, not only do I bet, I guarantee they're not even really giving their thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's just, man, this is sad that it happened.
Well,
okay.
Again, it's like when it's happening in front of them, they will help, and like
when it happens
come
to you, it's a different story. Yeah,
yeah. But when you're like sitting, like we were talking about Twitter and Facebook, it's so easy to be passive on there and to like, for one, like be aggressive and like get angry at people. It's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not fun to just be like, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Or like, I will help you in this cause.
But it's
whereas
not a
like if you're
game.
helping like, pile sandbags to protect a church or a power plant or something,
Right.
that's like a tangible thing you're getting, a tangible benefit from helping others.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're just like sitting there at a computer, it's like feels so disconnected from what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't think people will always like be against something. It's just like they don't feel connected to it. So it's very easy to be against it,
Right. And for the first time in human history, we have this like weird virtual connection to things.
Yeah.
Where we can, like, we are aware that a hurricane is happening and we see the devastation in our pockets with the supercomputers we have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that loose like connection to the thing that's happening prompts a loose response back. Oh, thoughts and prayers.
Right.
Click the thumbs up button to
Right.
that. And like,
Right.
and we
T's and
move
P's to
on.
the DIE.
Oh boy.
How did we get there?
Back to session log.
Oh my God. Okay, you're done. I'll polish this.
We've done 45 minutes on thoughts and prayers.
But that's what's good about drinking beers with buddies,
It really
You can
is.
talk about that kind of stuff.
I'm happy you picked these up. The little stubbies transitioned into a
Big
deep political
stubbies.
divide. Little stubbies to big stubbies. That's got to be on the tagline for today's show.
All right, should we do a parable or terrible?
Pair or tear us.
Now that
Let's
we finished the
steer
beer.
the direction in the other way. Yeah, the beer's gone, but
Okay, much as these are a session beer,
Okay.
which we didn't talk about sessionability at all in this episode as we had planned, but sessionability basically means like very drinkable for long periods
and
of
it's
time. Goes down
extremely
easy.
high. This is because you could drink 100 of these.
Yeah,
It's very
exactly.
light.
Yeah, and die.
Yeah, 5%
The ultimate.
alcohol.
I don't have to worry about global warming at all. So I thought we might try to pair it with something else that's uber snackable that you might munch on throughout a film, perhaps.
Ooh, let me see.
A little popcorn.
Parmigiano garlic.
Yes, and I decided, I am the decider, to get a little variety in it. So
Okay.
it's the Smart Food popcorn, Parmesan garlic flavored.
Okay.
Hey, if you think there's artificial colors or flavors or preservatives, fucking wrong, man.
I'm going to take a picture of you while
You're
you're
going to take a
holding it.
picture. And it's 100% whole grain. So if
Okay.
you need some fiber in your diet, need a little help with the poop-ski-poo, you're going to eat some popcorn. I've been big on popcorn for a long time because of this.
You're a popcorn boy.
I'm a popcorn boy, and
You're
me
here
to
to
say
say.
I'm going to eat popcorn and shit my brains out all day. This has 2 grams of fiber per 1 3/4 cup serving.
I have no idea. That could mean anything. Give me some. You always do this. You bring out
Here.
the parable or terrible, and then you
Smell
withhold
it.
it.
I love to
Smells
withhold.
good. It smells like Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, it does. And I figured this is a nice pairing for like a drinkable beer because it's salty, and you need
Yeah.
to wash the beer.
So
wash it
this
down.
has exactly the feedback I knew I was going to give. It's the popcorn in a bag problem. Pre-popped popcorn in a bag.
I agree.
They're all this like soggy, sort of half dissolve in your mouth texture, and they're all just riddled with powder. So it's just basically all a big salt bomb over like some
Well,
dissolvable.
yeah, I don't even know that they're soggy. They're
piece of
so
styrofoam.
powdery because they don't want any kind of moisture in there.
Right, they can't have it.
So it's not like you freshly buttered this thing or something.
Right. So that's my problem in general with bagged popcorn.
I agree. I agree.
This-
It's not ideal. And the costs. I mean, if I'm popping my own at home from raw popcorns,
If you're raw dogging it,
I'm raw dogging it in the stovetop.
yeah. Yeah, to ship a package of pre-popped popcorn is extremely inefficient, but
Yeah.
I got to get me and mine, you know what I mean? Know what
I
I'm saying?
do know. I need to get my jollies.
But I think this pairs extremely well with this session
I think it does.
lager.
I had a little swig left and took it with it, and it goes very well.
Right. If you had a Parmesan dusted popcorn ball sitting in front of me at a bar, it would pair with any beer.
Yeah.
So in this work conference that I was at in Orlando, every day from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., our hotel did a free, unlimited, all-you-can-drink cocktail 2 hours,
God.
and then also light snacks. So
Beers, too, or only cocktails?
beers,
Okay.
wine, cocktails, whatever you want. The cocktails, they'd mix a little light, so it was smart to go on beer. So me and my wife were down there, and we would celebrate this every day. We went and drank the full 2 hours, and they would have little bowls of popcorn, and then it had those little
The ultimate bar snack.
and they were courteous enough to put out the little, have you seen these where it's like a salt shaker flavored, so you can do like
Yeah,
nacho
yeah.
cheese flavor, and you pour it on the popcorn. Wonderful. So fresh popcorn, but with the salty sort of smattering of flavor.
See,
It's
in
like-
my experience, those like flavored things always get like really clumpy, and you can't even apply them.
Sure,
They turn
these
into Eddie
people must
Murphy's
go
The
through them-
Clumps.
Yeah, the classic and hilarious movie. I was once Joey Clump. I have a picture. I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post my Joey
Oh,
Clump
wow.
picture on Instagram this
You
week.
people
so the listeners
will
can hear
see
it.
how strong he is for doing this. Wowza.
It's a flattering
It's a
picture. Of me.
doozy.
Anyway, the popcorn had the best of both worlds. The problem is they give too much power to the people. This maybe goes back to our political.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
argument here.
Full circle.
It's like that. I tweeted this a long time ago, but us electing Trump is a lot like the time on Madden when we finally got the power to pick a player. We got to vote on players who would be in the Madden cover.
Oh.
And we voted fucking
Peyton
Peyton Hillis. That's kind of like when we had the power to elect president. Anyway,
We love to play pranks
yeah.
in very serious scenarios.
yeah, deadly serious places. I don't even remember where I was going with that.
Powdered
there's
popcorn.
The powdered popcorn. There's too much power there because we all pour a little bowl of our popcorn, and then you take that shaker and you pour way too much. You just dump it, and it ruins the whole thing. We need a professional. to
Tragedy of
code
the
it.
commons, you know.
Right. So that's why Smart Foods is basically saying we're the professionals here. we'll put the Parmesan garlic on for you at a correct ratio
They
because
put
you'll
the
go
smart
too hard.
in Smart Foods.
You would be a heroin addict if we let you. So we're not gonna let you go overboard. I think it's very parable. Do you agree?
I think it's very parable.
Parable.
Nom, 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 nom.
All right.
Okay. Go find it. Yeah, Smart Food Parmesan garlic if you haven't had it. It's good.
Yeah, it is. It's delicious. We have a lot of Instagram things we have to remember to post. Should we read the Beer Advocate?
Let's read the Beer Advocate, Joe.
Now, there's a lot of confusion here with Beer Advocate. What the fuck is going on?
So the ratings we talked about a couple weeks ago about going to a Rotten Tomatoes style percentage of people who liked this beer.
Right.
Now on the full sale page for Session Lager, they have a out of 5 score. So it's 3.65 out of 5. No indicators of like good, great, world class shit,
And
whatever.
this is neither the original score out of 100
No.
nor the Rotten Tomatoes. They've just gone
totally
in a third
different.
direction.
It's totally different.
Oh, boy.
And the bros actually, the Allstroms, or however they pronounce it, give it a 4.03, it looks like.
Out of 5? So that's an 80.
I believe
that's,
so.
that's an 80% out of them. That's pretty high.
That
That's
is pretty high.
Very good.
What
Yeah.
the hell? Even they must have had a lot of kickback on the Rotten Tomatoes style because
they've
all the other
already went
pages
back
are like
on it.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Do you
it's
think
not
it's
just
because
section.
you think Cold
Oh.
Cans and Cold
Cold
Cans,
Cans
Nation?
Nation took down.
You bet your ass. Beer Advocate, if you're out there, we're coming for you, baby.
Yeah, Cold Cans Nation. Say it loud, say it proud.
We hate change. We hate change.
But yeah, this is a 3.65 out of 5 from the community, which compared to Kona Longboard, which I clicked on for comparison, is 3.37.
So they view it as better.
Yeah,
I have to say,
bros too.
I guess now we probably move into the rankings portion of the show because I have to say, I very much appreciate how crisp and light this is, with how much alcohol ratio this gives you. Like this is an all-purpose beer, very much. The sessionability is off the charts. The flavor
It is.
pretty fucking good, and 5% alcohol content. Is it a reasonable price?
It was
I'm gonna
on
lose my
sale at
jimmies if you tell me it's a
local
reasonable.
grocer for $12.99 for a 12-pack of Stubbies.
That's a
So
reasonable
it's a very
price.
reasonable price.
Oh my god!
Joe just found his new favorite beer.
I mean, seriously, this is like it doesn't have any of the like unique, crazy qualities that like the locality of Spotted Cow or the like world class nature of Grand Cru, and it was a sour or the Old Rasputin Stout, like all unique. It just nails. This is a fucking solid, dependable. It's the Frank Gore of cold cans beers.
It is.
It's just gonna be there for forever for you.
And it runs through 300-pound men every day. And mostly on Sundays.
And it's a little stubby.
And it's a little stubby. One of the Allstrom Bros reviews, he says, in conclusion, he says that for D, which I assume means drinkability, not surprising that it's very drinkable. The name says it all. Excellent rolling crispness, just enough body in a semi-dry beer. Plain, but perhaps the best basic lager I've had in a long time. Shame this is not in Massachusetts, which is apparently where he lives, because I'd buy it by the case,
Okay.
which we can't out here, you know.
So he's basically saying what we're saying. He buys this fucking thing. It's dependable. It's a utility beer.
Chug them.
How
You got
about we
a
read
slow Tuesday evening at home?
Yeah. You speed it up with 15 of these. So should we read the rankings from T to T?
Hey, Joe, let's read the rankings.
Smirnoff Ice, so Duels, Olympia, Budweiser, Miller Lite, Miller 64, Michelob Ultra, Molson, Schaffenhofer Hefeweizen, Grapefruit Beer, Rolling Rock, PBR, Eyinger Brauweiss, Palisades Pineapple, Tecate, Heineken Blatz, Sierra Nevada, Torpedo Extra IPA, Rainier Crikey IPA, Blue Moon, Hoegaarden, Kona Longport, Deschutes Swivelhead Red, Old Rasputin, Rodenbach, Grand Cru, and number 1, Spotted Cow. I'll
Where
take
do you
the lead
want
if
this
you
one?
want it.
Yeah, take the lead, Joe. I am the man on the mountain. Bow to me. No. He's losing his mind.
I feel drunk off of the power and of the 5% alcohol of the little stubby. Session is. My name's Joey Glock, and I'm here to say I'm going to rank a session beer in a very fine way. We're going to look down the list, find its place. If you get mad, don't spray me with mace. Just look back at the rankings. Look back at what we said. Take this thing into your head and remember this is a utility beer. I'm not going to carry this on any longer. This beer for me is my number 1 lager.
Woohoo! Wowza.
Man, the longer and longer I didn't think was going to come.
That was pretty good.
It's number 1! Our new number 1!
Okay, justify that for me, please.
Now, I laid out the points to the other beer that we've talked about. We can start at we'll start at 5. Kona, our Hawaii trip memories. Great.
It's carried that for a very long time.
Deschutes Swivelhead Red, maybe a mistake, but just like a really, honestly, probably close to this, another dependable, fucking very good beer. Had
Yeah,
cool
and
packaging.
surprisingly good. Yeah.
Portland Roots.
True.
Old Rasputin. Love it with, again, a very specific scenario. It's a stout. It's, Spencer's favorite beer who was on the show, and it's
Old
good. It had a
Rasputin,
cool,
well
thing.
reputed.
But all these have, highs and lows. You can't drink Old Rasputin on the roof in 85 degrees. Rodenbach Grand Cru. World-class beer, but $8,000 to buy, and you could have one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's polarizing, right? I mean, some listeners came back and said this beer's trash.
Listener Corcor says, this tastes like shit wine.
And then Spotted Cow, a perfectly good and reasonable beer, but you can only get it in Wisconsin. It's pretty expensive, but I love it. I mean, I had it at my wedding. It'll have a place in my heart. This beer is, it's maybe not as good at all of the things that those things are good at, but it's better than the rest of those things those are. This beer is just so good on so many different levels. It's good tasting. It has a lot of alcohol. It's available. It's sessionable. It has value. It's my number 1.
Capital V value. Spotted Cow in your heart, session in your gut. That's what I'm all saying.
That's what I'm saying. What do you think?
No, I don't mind it. I really like this beer. I think, well, like you said, there's always a caveat to most of those beers, whereas this one is just what do we value in a beer at this stage in our lives? We just want to drink a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
And the 5.1% alcohol in that light and crisp of a beer is very nice. My only regret is that it's not summertime because I could sit outside, perhaps on a street corner even, and just chug a 12-pack of these boys.
But after work, you could get one of these at a happy hour, and it would fucking taste wonderful.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't shitting on it, Joe.
Okay.
I just don't like to drink beer as much when the sky is dark at 5 p.m. during the winter hours. But that's for another show. Let's put it at number 1. Who cares?
Yay!
Life's meaningless. The polar ice caps are melting, and we don't give a damn.
I love it.
We got a new number 1, folks, and we're here to say,
Oh, yeah.
we'll regret this soon in the cold cans way.
Folks, new number 1!
The Cold Cans podcast is recorded in the Overcast Room at Cloud Studios in Seattle, Washington. Visit cloudstudiosseattle.com